Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The sound of the door slamming echoed through the house like a gunshot. My wife's suitcase wheels scratched across the tiles as she dragged them out of the hallway. I stood frozen in the doorway, staring at her trembling hands gripping the handle, her phone lighting up with a message from him. The name flashed briefly before she locked the screen, Ethan Redhart Hash. She didn't look at me when she spoke. I can't do this anymore, Mark. I need something different. Someone different. Someone younger, I thought, though I couldn't bring myself to say it. She brushed past me. Her perfume, a soft vanilla she'd worn on our wedding day, hit me like a knife through the ribs. I wanted to stop her, to say something clever, something powerful, but all that came out was a whisper. Do you love him? Her lips trembled, but she didn't answer. And that silence was louder than any confession. I watched her car lights fade into the night, swallowed by the darkness at the end of our street. The house felt empty the moment she was gone. Even the air seemed to change, colder, heavier. I sank onto the couch, my hands covering my face. It wasn't sudden. Deep down, I'd seen it coming. The late-night texts. The gym memberships. The girls' trips. All the moments I'd brushed off as midlife restlessness. I'd been too proud, too trusting, too afraid to admit she might want someone else. And now, she had him. Hours crawled by. I drank, paced, stared at the photos on the wall, the wedding picture, the anniversary dinner, her laughing with a wine glass in hand. Every memory was a blade. At midnight, I finally turned off the lights and sat in the dark. My chest felt hollow. I wasn't angry yet. Just lost. Then came the knock. 3 sharp, desperate bangs. I jolted upright, heart hammering. Another round, louder this time. Mark, open up. It was her voice. I stumbled to the door, fumbling with the lock. When I opened it, she stood there, hair tangled, mascara streaked down her cheeks, her dress torn at the shoulder. And behind her, that same Ethan, the man she'd left me for, looked pale, shaken, blood on his shirt. What the hell? Please, Mark, she gasped, grabbing my arm. Let us in. His hurt. I stepped aside automatically, confusion slicing through the fog of alcohol. She pulled Ethan inside, closing the door behind them. My living room, the same one where we'd once danced after dinner, was now a battlefield of betrayal and chaos. Ethan slumped onto the couch, clutching his side. I could see the torn fabric, the smear of red. My wife knelt beside him, pressing a towel against the wound. Who did this? I demanded. Some guys at the gas station, Ethan muttered. Road rage or something. I don't know. He wouldn't meet my eyes. My wife looked up at me then, her voice shaking. Mark, please. Just help us. Call someone. I wanted to laugh. To scream. To tell them both to rot outside. But instead, I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. As I waited for the operator, I stared at them. Her hand resting on his thigh, her lips near his ear, whispering comfort. The sight turned my stomach. When the ambulance came, I stood at the door, letting the paramedics rush past me. They loaded Ethan onto a stretcher, my wife holding his hand. Before they left, she turned to me. Mark, I'll come back. I just need to make sure he's okay. And then she was gone again. The next morning, I found myself driving aimlessly through town. I ended up outside the hospital, parked across the street. I didn't even know why. Maybe I just needed to see her. Through the window, I saw her in the waiting room. Her head resting on Ethan's shoulder. His arm around her. The world went quiet in that moment. My throat tightened, my heart a dull, heavy drum. I didn't go in. I just sat there, watching until my vision blurred with tears. That night, I came home to silence again. Her clothes were still gone. Her perfume lingered faintly in the bedroom, haunting me. Then, around 3 a.m., another knock. Not soft. Furious. Relentless. Open up, damn it. I froze. It wasn't her voice this time. When I opened the door, 2 men stood there. Rough-looking. Tattoos creeping up their necks. One of them held something shiny under his jacket. You Mark? The taller one asked. I nodded cautiously. Where's Ethan? I frowned. What do you mean? The man's expression darkened. He owes us money. A lot of money. We tracked his car here last night. It hit me then. The road rage, the wound, the sudden panic. It wasn't random. I don't know where he is, I said quietly. The men exchanged a glance. If you see him, tell him we're done being patient. They turned and left, their car roaring away into the night. For a long time, I just stood there, cold air seeping into the house. Then I closed the door and locked it. Every bolt. Every chain. I didn't sleep at all. The next day, my wife showed up again, alone this time. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Mark, she whispered, I made a mistake. I laughed bitterly. Which part? Leaving me, or bringing a criminal to my doorstep? She winced, tears sliding down her face. He said he needed money for his startup. I thought he was just struggling, but he was in debt, to dangerous people. Last night they followed us. That's why we came here. I was terrified. So now you come back because it's convenient. I snapped. Because your toy got himself in trouble. She covered her face, sobbing. I was stupid. I wanted to feel young again, alive. You were always so distant, so calm, and he made me feel wanted. I swallowed hard, rage boiling beneath my ribs. And now? He's gone, she said. He left the hospital this morning without a word. The irony was cruel. The man she'd destroyed our marriage for had abandoned her the moment things got difficult. She looked at me, voice breaking. Can you ever forgive me? I stared at her for a long moment. Memories flashed in my mind, our wedding, the nights we talked until sunrise, the way she used to hold my hand when crossing the street. But that woman was gone. I stepped back. You should go. Her eyes widened. Please, Mark. Go. She hesitated, then picked up her bag and walked out for the last time. When the door closed behind her, I felt a strange mix of grief and relief. The silence that followed wasn't empty anymore. It was honest. For the first time in months, I wasn't pretending. But as I turned off the lights and sat down, I couldn't shake the final image from my mind. Two men in the dark, looking for Ethan. And her voice, trembling, saying she didn't know where he was. Neither did I. But deep down, I suspected I might hear that knock again. And next time, I wouldn't open the door.